Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver. Today we are going to be playing the Fates. We start off here with a shop that has two happy little trees, so kind of an interesting start. I considered locking this happy little tree, but we did end up unlocking it just for like the potential upside of finding like a fifth one kind of thing, or getting more in the shop. But I figured like locking for it just wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, we get to triple our happy little tree here on 2.1 or 2.2. I think Fairy Tail is a pretty clear winner here out of these treasures. Obviously Fairy Tail this early is very, very good. We get to take a sure shot, and we do make a mistake here. I should have put sure shot in the back. I think I was just a little distracted by chat or something. But yeah, having sure shot in the back probably would have been enough to win that fight, but so we give up some HP that we definitely should not have. But we've got a big happy little tree, and we can get this sure shot into the back now. Which we did do that. Just took us a second. Unfortunately, this Gwen seems to have disconnected after their first two turns. So unfortunate there, but I mean, at least we don't take damage in that fight anyhow. We did take a white plus a dwarf last turn, just because it was the cleanest and probably best combination there. I'm not sure necessarily like how deep we're going to go into dwarves though, considering this water wraith right now, but like I'm not a big fan of water wraith unless I have a black cat ready to go, and it's on 3.0, so at 3.1 I'm definitely much less inclined to take one. So I think we're just going to take our roll here, and I was going to take the crafty, but I think we go Cindy plus spell instead. I mean, Earthquake's very good on 3.1 of course, and then we can lock the crafty. It is a decent size. 6/6 already, thanks to our treasure, plus Fairy Tail, plus the Princess White stats. We get to deny their stag attack there, but they still have a lot of stats on the back line thanks to their quiver, but we do end up coming away with the win. We get another dwarf in our shop, which is great, and also we get to cast a exponential growth onto our happy little tree, just making it making the back end even bigger than it was before. And this is Curse King, who looks like they took some damage because they took experience early, but they got really rewarded with a double hippo shop on their turn on turn 4 with their summons. So we do manage to just barely get a tie there, but that's going to be a very powerful opponent, at least through the mid game anyhow. Hippos are very good when you get set up like that for them. Considering the Nutcracker, it's a decent size bigger than some of the characters on our board, and also like if we can find a Heartwood Guardian, it ends up being pretty premium. I think yeah, we are going to go for it. We're going to cut the tiny for now. Consider just putting the extra stat onto it, but I figure we just take the roll instead, and we get rewarded with a greedy here. Furthers our Princess White quest, as well as can potentially get us some econ. 11 toughness is not bad. I mean, if we think that that Nutcracker is going to get some progress, it's reasonable to think that greedy will as well. This is a very powerful trophy hunter. They've already got a Tweedle, and they had a decent amount of stats on their front line. It looked like we get a couple dollars out of our greedy, but we do lose the fight. All right, we pick up an Amy, and yeah, we're getting pretty close to getting our Princess White quest done. So it's probably worth just taking level 2 dwarves and cycling them. There is a tiny in the shop, which we are going to take, and probably just cycle. There's a Lady of the Lake. I do like Lady of the Lake, especially since we want to put toughness onto our characters here. There's also a TLK. We could just get a random 5 out of our TLK. I did point the TLK at the Princess White. For a moment, I thought that it's just like Cindy. It's got one quest left. We can TLK it, and it'll become a golden 4. But yeah, fortunately, I quickly came to my senses. All right, we go for the TLK on the happy little tree. Since we haven't found Heartwood Guardian, I figure trying to get this amount of stats up the chain would be worth it. And unfortunately, it goes into turns into a sleeping princess, so the attack gets lower, toughness gets higher, but I mean, a 352 at this stage of the game is okay, but it's probably not enough to beat the size of this vulture from this Geppetto, who seems to have a lot of summons. Although it is a great blocker for our ranged character, but again, that vulture just a little bit too big for us here. And we end up losing the fight. We pop our secret stash. We get another greedy here, which finishes our Princess White quest, and it's between Sting and Crystal Ball here. I think I really like Crystal Ball, especially since we've got a couple different avenues towards a level 4 treasure for a fork. And also, I would like to just pump a bunch of stats into our Nutcracker to get the quest, as well as maybe one into our Sleeping Princess to wake it up. Speaking of targeted spells, there's one. I do pass it by though, so that was probably a mistake. But fortunately, we do have enough gold now that we get to triple our crafty, as well as pick up this TLK. Where it's just going to be Noble Steed over Ring of Regen and Piggy Bank. Noble Steed just has some amount of some amount of upside that I think the other two don't. Yeah, this crafty is very large, 27 here. We get a great hit. They have sarcophagus, so they earthquake us, and then sarcophagus our Nutcracker to get our Nutcracker quest done. That's going to be a level 5 treasure, and the size of this of the back side of our Sporko makes it able to value trade with our or with the Queen of Hearts there, anyways, even though it's so large. So because we have this so many stats on this Sporker already, I think it's Saber here, because I think this Sporko is going to take stats very, very well, and we're going to take a preemptive Aeon here. Just we're hoping to find preemptive Baba, hoping to find Aeon, and there is Aeon right on time. Very fortunate for us. We're gonna have to double support it right now, as we don't have much gold left to spend on spells. But we want to get that Slay, with the Baba supported Slay specifically, to get the extra stats, of course, or the extra spell cost reduction, I should say. And yeah, we're obviously gonna take a Forking Rod, but we're gonna hold on to our two other treasures in the meantime. We did get our Aeon Slay, so that's fantastic. That is an Oni Tyrant over there, though. Fortunately for us, again, our Sporko with the large toughness is able to stand tall there. And yeah, so we're gonna take Forking Rod. I think we're just gonna get out of Noble Steed. I considered getting out of Saber first, but I think Noble Steed we just don't really want to mess around too much with Noble Steed. Like, it's a nice speculation for later, but I think we'd rather just have the stats and keep ourselves nice and healthy. We do have another ghost fight with the Gwen that had only 2 units. Fortunately, they do have 2 units though, so this Aeon is still going to get its Slay, even if they attack first. Consider casting the Hermes Magic Beans just to make sure we get there, but I think we should be good. And we get another level 3 triple for a triply here. Unfortunately, no hat, so we just skip there. Almost do this in the wrong order, but I do come to my senses and cast the health pot first, so we can see 2 spells. Get a coin there. There's a Mix-a-Whizzle, giving us a Burn Beard, which is fairly large. Not that it matters for this fight. All right, we get our Slay. And yeah, we get to continue our spellcasting spree here. We get another TLK, which we turn the Mix-a-Whizzle, the Vulture, into the Burnbeard last turn, gets TLK'd into a Burnbeard again. So I guess it was just fated to be a Burnbeard. All right, now we get to fork our the end here, and we're gonna the end Amy and just gain a cool 8 health here, which is fantastic. Getting such a large amount of health is always great. We did devour our only royal, which is a little bit awkward potentially. All right, we just end the turn with a candy cannon here, forked candy cannon, and we hope that our Aeon doesn't get attacked into anyways. And yeah, we get the first attack, fortunately, against Hoard Dragon. Hoard Dragon here has Singing Sword plus Pandora's Box. So they are very, very scary. And we're going to do a ton of damage. And we do 20 and leave them on 1, letting them get whatever treasure they get out of their Pandora's Box. So that's that could be concerning for us. Like if it's Holy Grail and they manage to survive the next fight, I mean, and they might with the Singing Sword plus Good Boy combo there. Yeah, I mean Hoard Dragon gets very, very scary with a Holy Grail, as they just get to assemble whatever level 7 treasures they want, really. Consider the 10 gold knighthood here, but I think I don't think it's worth it necessarily there. 10 gold like just takes up a lot of our turn, and I would rather just cast as many spells as possible and get the Forking Rod value and scale our characters that way. I am going to take another Aeon though. Having the redundancy of a second Aeon I think is definitely worth it. Just in case one of our Aeons gets scammed, and then the other one should be able to slay and be able to get us our spell cost reduction, as it's super important for us still here. Alright. We managed to lock our Drink Me potion there, which is great. That's going to give us lots of things to cast next turn. We get both our Aeon Slays, which is fantastic. Excuse me. And yeah, Miri's board definitely looking a little bit lacking. We do 19 them and knock them out of the lobby from second place. Unfortunate for them. I'm gonna start with the Feed the Kraken, I think, or we start with the Mix-a-Wizzle. Start with the Mix-a-Wizzle onto the Crafty. Turns into a tree. I mean, we don't need a tree. We've got Burnbeard here. There's an 8 gold knighthood, so that's a little bit tempting, but still probably not worth it. We end up just not casting Feed the Kraken on anything, just because if we can hit another TLK onto this Heartwood Guardian, that's another golden 6 for us. All right, we get to cast a Croc there. We cast it on the Heartwood, because it's pretty much just like another kind of vessel for our spells here. We're running out of time, so I do cast the Evil Twin on the Echo Wood, but I mean that's probably not worth it. Maybe we probably should have just tripled the Aeon there. Although I'd like having 2 Aeons just because it protects us from scam most of the time. Here's Peter Pants. They have Hat Ball, but unfortunately for them, they're not quite Hat Balling as well as we are, and we knock them out of the lobby as well. There's a Queen's Grace. We don't have a Royal, so we're just going to pick up a Queen of Hearts here. Gives us a Drink Me potion for us to continue our spells. I think we're going to TLK we're going to start TLKing the Familiar now. We're going to cast all our targeted spells we can first before hitting the TLK. We do get another TLK, which is nice because we can go from 2 to 4 to 4 to 6. And yeah, we have an absurdly large Good Boy now. And we've already turned a couple of our characters good, so now we just really, really want Beauty's influences. We skipped past a Scion of the Storm there. We weren't able to cast it, and I didn't necessarily want to lock it because we have this Good Boy that we can potentially utilize. Not to say that if we saw one in the next shop I wouldn't take it, but there's another Crystal Ball player knocked out, and here's that Hoard Dragon. The Hoard Dragon that we left on 1 HP, still on 1 HP, and now the only other player left in the lobby, so unfortunately we weren't able to 21 them. But yeah, dealing 20 damage, not good enough there, and might end up coming back to bite us here. We're gonna play the Good Boys in 1 now. Now that we're down, we just need to win 1 fight. And there's that Scion. We don't really have anything better to play, so I think we take the Scion, and we're gonna Croc it. If we can Beauty's influence the Croc, then that'll be nice. We go for a Shard on this Oni Tyrant. Unfortunately, it's Pumpkin, which it does take the Good Boy stats, but I think it's not very valuable. So we're actually going to swap it out for an Echo Wood. And because of the way Scion of the Stats, or Scion of the Storm works, Scion of the Stats, kind of what I was going for, anyways. The way the stats work for Scion of the Storm is before we get into that, I just want to note that the Hoard Dragon definitely hit Grail out of their Pandora's box and then survived the next fight, because they have Magic Sword, World Tree, and Mirror with Golden Lordy, Oni Tyrant, Court Wizard, upgraded Green Knight there, and yeah, they have way too many stats for us here. So we get very, very overwhelmed. We have health to kind of deal with it, and we didn't get any of our Aeon Slays. We are going to change heroes, and yeah, fortunately for us, there's Trophy Hunter. So now we have a Baba Yaga behind this good boy. So if we can just slay with this good boy, that's going to be an absurd amount of stats. It might be enough for us to overwhelm them here. But yeah, what I was trying to say is the way Sign of the Storm works, when it comes out of the croc, because it's technically a 0/0, the game thinks that it gains all those stats immediately upon being checked for when it is summoned. We're gonna put the good character in instead though, just to take those good boy stats, which are more valuable now. But yeah, so the Echowood sees those stats that get applied to Scion as soon as it gets summoned, and gets stats equal to the size of the Scion anyhow. We get to go first, and our good boy does slay in front of Baba Yaga, putting a ton of stats onto the board here. Our Echowood has about 3,000 health here. I mean, the opponent still has a bunch of Lordies as well as Court Wizard and Mirror though, so they get a ton of stats as well. Pumpkin slays, but that doesn't do anything. But yeah, you can see our Echo, like we managed to take down the rest of their board enough, and our Echo stands tall with about 5,000 health when it was all is said and done. And yeah, we get the win. We managed to beat one of the best comps you can assemble with just all level 7 treasures on Hoard Dragon. Thanks to our Trophy Hunter change there. But yeah, that was a wild one. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Leaving a like lets YouTube know that it should recommend my content to more people. Leaving a comment also helps the algorithm, so I would greatly appreciate it if you would do that. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to say anything. Just say hello, and I'll say hello back. I do respond to every comment. And yeah. With all that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this far, and I'll see you tomorrow.